be sure to get energized because you don't want to miss this. You don't want to, lose attention here. We got some big ones coming up. We got next up, we have Max Fanto, Justin Wu, Polina Morozova, and our marketing mastermind, Luis Fausto here. And they're going to walk us through how marketing is evolving today in crypto. So guys, give them a round of applause.
Stage is yours, guys.
Awesome. Can you guys hear me? So Johnny, guys are ripped. If you haven't seen this, guy's the most ripped guy I've ever seen. I just want to take a moment. Thank you everyone for being here, and shout out to the Sonic team for crafting this special 2-day event. And thank you for all our wonderful speakers being here. So before we begin, obviously we'll go down. We'll start with Max over there. Introduce yourself, who you are, and what you do.
Thank you, thank you. First of all, Sonic and Luis, really congrats for these events because I attend a lot of events and this is one of the best organized that I ever seen. So really congrats on that. And I'm Max, co-founder of Movimentum, and we are a token marketing agency and an investments fund, proud to be a Sonic partner, and we are working on the marketing side to expand in a new ways. So not only on hacks or crowded things, but to open to new opportunities. So thank you again for inviting me and looking forward to it.
Of course, thank you for being here. Go ahead, Justin.
Hey, how's it going, Justin Wu. I'm the marketing director at Halistone Labs. We are a venture firm based out of Hong Kong, and we focus a lot on DeFi and RWA type of projects. Outside of that, I'm also a KOL and heavy yapper for the Sonic community, and then also heavy airdrop farmer for Season 1 and Season 2. Actually finally hit my loyalty 3x just the other day as well. So happy to be here as well. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here, Justin. Polina?
Hi, everyone. I'm really happy to see all of you there. I represent Alba Ventures, and we are helping the founders to raise their social capital with showing their presence and helping them organize their PR and marketing. And I also work closely with influencers and the creators across all the platforms.
Thank you, Polina. And my name is Luis Fausto. I'm a part of the Sonic Labs team, specifically in the marketing department, content, all that fun stuff. So to kick off this conversation, I want to hear a little bit about your guys' takes on each question. I'll start with Max. When we think about brand narratives in crypto, I think it's important, right, for companies to have a long-term message or a long-term goal with their language, right? That said, though, there's trends that pop up. So my question is, how do companies focus on their long-term messaging, but also being nimble to short-term trends? We'll go with you, Max.
Yeah. For me, the most important thing is to have a North Star, right? So every project should have it and not change, not chase the last trends or the last narrative. For me, there are two ways. One is try to create a narrative because for sure, obviously, it's the best way, but also to write it. That's the second way. And for the first way, for me, it's more about let's try it. Because if you fail to try to create a narrative, it's not a problem. Because the attention span is so low, right? So it's something that if you achieve the goal, that's great, and you can be the lead of the narrative. And the second way is to try or to write it. And for me, the most important thing is to be speed, to be fast. Because if you try to chase the narrative, write the narrative, but let's say, if you are slow, try to do something months later, the narrative is changing. So try fast and reiterate. That's the most important thing for me.
Thank you, Max. Justin, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, narrative shifts, especially for this cycle, has been insanely fast. I mean, we all saw, like, DeFi came out, and then that lasted for a few weeks, and then just immediately shifted again to, like, different topics from RWAs and others. And it's never ending, right? Then, past few weeks has just been perp season, right? So, which thankfully, again, there's a lot of different narratives happening on the Sonic ecosystem with Tulip cooking, and then some other things are up there. I think, for in terms of narrative, like you said, we have to have like the main messaging, and then when it comes to the more fast and nimble, you got to you got to kind of keep hitting like the main points. Like if you're going heavy on RWAs, then really talk about which I think Sonic has been doing really good at talking about the institutional side, the DAT side. We've been hitting a lot of the different angles there. I think we just have to keep hitting it hard, but then also we need to go deep into those category leaders like the Ondos and others and try to put ourselves and associate in each of the different buckets that we are trying to go after, which is not easy because we have to attack multiple fronts. And again, the narrative can literally shift in a week or even a day. And it's based on like the degen and retail mindset. But I think we just keep hammering it and hitting the multiple fronts. I think it's just about being consistent and showing up there is going to be, it's going to pay off, I think.
Sure. Polina, what do you think?
So, in my opinion, no matter what happens in Twitter space, and we know Twitter is quite a toxic platform, not gonna lie. So the main thing that what all the blockchains and especially Sonic should keep to, and it's to highlight the benefits and what problems Sonic solves, what benefits it has. Focus on the gas fees and the multiple benefits it gives. Also, do not be afraid of FUD because almost all the blockchains are getting FUD and hate, and it's the key value and the key mission is to continue showing the right way how dedicated the team is, how many projects are getting integrated to the Sonic ecosystem, how many smart contracts are deployed, because the main thing is community support and retail support. And if Sonic and the other blockchains continue showing this narrative that they are here for the long term, they are here for the contribution of the whole blockchain ecosystem, this is how the long-term narratives will survive. And when we speak about short-term narratives, it's quite important to not to try to hunt on every single narrative popping up. Try to find some relevant ones like DePIN or the merge of TradFi and DeFi and Sonic, and continue highlighting this one.
Thank you, guys. I want to touch a little bit about KOLs being a part of this. Obviously, some of you guys have experience with KOL management. Some of you are KOLs yourself, like Justin. How can a lot of people look at KOLs for trust, right? They see a tweet, the sentiment could change based on KOLs. In your opinion, how are they being best utilized in the market today, or has KOL marketing changed in the last, say, year and a half? Max, you could go first.
Yeah, it's a good question because KOL are important, right? Because they are a kind of social proof for the project, but it's not only on the KOL side. KOLs can amplify what's your message, what's your value proposition. So first of all, you should have a great base, and then, yes, you can amplify with them. And it's not only on crowded maybe X, it's a bit crowded, but just try also to go on other ways to expand your audience in other platform. And again, it's all about testing, and then you can check what is working well and what not, and then double down on what is working. But again, and not only not every KOL is the same, right? So you should be aligned on the KOL that are conveying in the right way your message, and also you should be aligned on what's your nature, what's your real value proposition. So that's really important.
Justin, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess from a perspective from a KOL myself, but also, I do a lot of marketing and deal with a lot of portfolio projects, and then also, help and be ambassador for a lot of the Sonic ecosystem projects, helping everybody out as well. And, I think that right now, the attention capital obviously is very fragmented now compared to previously, same with liquidity. And same, then there's also a lot of different, there's like chain-specific KOLs, and then there's narrative-specific KOLs, and then now there's just like a lot of the micro ones as well through a lot of the InfoFi products out there as well. So I think each level or each category of those have a different strategy. Like the narrative-driven ones, they're focused on like what's the impact on the institutional side, RWAs or DeFi, AI, whatever. So the content that they have to create needs to really resonate and fit around that. They don't really, I mean, if they care about the underlying tech, that's up to them. Then you got like the, the hardcore like chain shills that are like the Sonic guys, the goggles, and all the crew and everything. So, I think the fragmentation exists there, and the attention capital is very thin. So, as a project, I would say like focus on the ones that are like consistently in the ecosystem, because they'll actually have more influence versus the other ones that are not in the ecosystem, because they're very mercenary, especially from the perspective of the KOL side. They're going all around token now, and they're just getting deals nonstop. So they're just going to be like shilling every single thing out there. And so like that tweet, that video is not going to have that much impact anymore. I would go more deeper into the chain-specific guys that maybe they're related to, like if you're building like a DeFi project, then go for like the guys that are heavy covering like DeFi threads that maybe are not that are outside Sonic, to then bring in more people into the people in that perspective. Same with like the very narrative-driven ones as well. So I would rather say just build the stronger relationships with like even the smaller guys that might have a little bit more better impact versus like some of the big channel guys out there that they're getting major deals, and so they could, even if you pay them, like they have a team now that's just operating, tweeting on a whole schedule, and they're just making money every single second from doing that, and the community is just not as solid.
Polina?
In my opinion, the great solution for the KOL marketing is the great mixture of both small and big KOLs of different various and tiers, because I believe that when the ecosystem is growing, it's important not to focus on only chain-specific influencers. It's also necessary to check the narrative-focused influencers like DeFi or maybe TradFi, the influencers who actively talk about RWA or DePIN or any other narratives, and who actually provide really quality content, no matter what platform it is. So in my opinion, it is also important to focus on the influencers who actively support one or two or maybe three ecosystems, and who are motivated not only by the payments, but also by non-monetary incentives, maybe like some participations or like other benefits. But I believe some paid KOL marketing is also important for some like short-term narratives or maybe like short engagement. But overall, great combination of everything what is currently in the market would be really good for all the blockchains, especially the ones who bring the long-term narrative, who are building the ecosystem, who are actually focused on long-term development. This would be the great thing.
Now, we understand, all of us up here and a lot of us in the audience understand that branding takes time, right? A narrative takes time. Steve Jobs says the most powerful person in the world is a storyteller, right? However, what do you guys think is missing from an industry perspective, rather? They say Bitcoin has the best marketing because they don't have a team, right? They're on the television, etc. But from a crypto industry, aside from Bitcoin, what do you guys think is missing from a branding perspective, at a protocol level, at a product level, etc.? Max, you want to go first?
I will start from patience, because Rome wasn't built in a day, right? So again, it's really important to convey to your vision, your message, and your mission. But the most important thing is also to, let's say, build step by step your brand, your awareness. It is not about a short-term things when you can have a big push, a big marketing push, and then you disappear, right? It's okay, you can have a spike, but then you still have to keep your message there. So, okay, great marketing push for a big events, and then you should still have this ambassador, these people, KOL, community, that amplify your message and amplify your why, right? So that's my take.
Justin?
My only take, and it's I guess, is I think still to this day, people still love the cult of personality. Obviously, we don't want to rest everything on Andre's shoulders. But I would like to see, from my take, is I think people want to see more of the team come out and just give more thought leadership to help support that, because we look at the other ecosystems, of course, like Vitalik stepped back, right? But we saw we don't want to put it on a single person because that'd be like a single point of failure. But if it's, I think we're starting to see more content again, like about the tech. We're seeing the team focus about that. But people want to gravitate towards kind of like the leaders for each of the protocols and projects out there, and kind of band about that. It's still a very personal game out there, and that's my opinion. I think that the community wants to just like hear more thought leadership and personal branding. It's more than important than ever for a lot of the protocols and projects out there. On top of, and then having like the KOLs and PR, the messaging and narrative kind of rally behind that. I think that that would be really beneficial, and I think that's what's going to help us re-energize the community a little bit more.
Sure. Polina?
So when it comes to engaging the community, it's really important to keep the messages clear and simple, because complication leads to misunderstanding among the community, especially when the ecosystem or a blockchain tries to get the new users and attract new people to retail or any other sector. Also, as been mentioned before, founders-led marketing is critically important, because when the community sees the dedication and the clear vision of the founders and the team, what was built for the roadmap and the narrative, they actually continue support, and this is what can actually lead to the long-term growth and long-term development for the ecosystem. It can be actually implemented for multiple blockchains, no matter layer 1 or layer 2s, so it can be.
As we wrap up here, we have a couple more minutes. The last question I have for you guys is, what's your guys' take on the next year and a half, this next cycle coming up in terms of marketing narratives and positioning and branding? What are you most looking forward to, and what do you think is going to be a winning narrative this coming cycle? Max, go ahead.
Yeah, for sure, the target is changed, right? Because right now, it's a different market. Previously was about degens or Web3 native users. Right now we are expanding. We are building a real, let's say, market, international market. So yeah, the project should adopt their narrative, their messaging for the new user, for the new target. So for example, right now it's all about TradFi institutions. So what's the problem that every project can solve? In the real world, it's not only in a niche, right? So for me, it's just really try to lead the narrative, exploring new things, and try. Let's try, because again, if you fail, don't care. But if you are right, you hope in a big blue ocean.
Thank you, Max. Justin, go ahead.
Yeah, it's always hard to predict how the next cycle will be. Obviously, it's gravitated towards more of like the fintech style now, with like stablecoin narrative that just happened the past couple of weeks as well too, as if stablecoins is the only fun innovation there. But I think that what we'll see as the chain upgrades are happening, we're going to get more account extraction built into the chain as well. Then I think that the more like poly market style of retail or Robinhood style experience, where people don't see what's happening behind the chain, I think that that's kind of like where we will need to gravitate towards to kind of have that next moment. And that's kind of like where we are going with like all these, again, like this stablecoin and neobank style dApps that are coming about, the merging of retail with like institution and more like traditional finance, blurring the line where blockchains are going to become invisible. I think that that's kind of like where we're heading for that retail experience, and getting the people to, they're not even thinking about Sonic behind the scenes, but it's just working super fast. They're just sending money to a person super quick, making that whole experience amazing. I think that's kind of like the next level.
Thank you, Justin. Polina?
Yeah, although we have current narrative of DEX wars and perpetual DEX wars, I believe RWA narrative would be one of the most predominant ones, at least the next year. although it's not that skyrocketing and not that popular, the amount of integrations, including Sonic, has actually been done in this space. And I believe RWA is going to expand across the multiple blockchains, and we will see more and more integrations, more and more developments in this space. And this is the narrative which can actually be multi-chain. That's why.
Well, Max, Justin, Polina, it's been an honor to share the stage with you guys. Please, a round of applause for this fantastic panel. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day and join us back for day 2 tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.